Imagine for a moment that the moon, the shining companion to our planet, is replaced by a black hole of equivalent mass. You might assume that this would bring dramatic changes to life on Earth: tidal waves, gravitational shifts, and cosmic chaos. However, as surprising as it may seem, the truth is that the black hole would have almost no noticeable impact on our daily lives. While the moon's gravity plays a crucial role in shaping tides and stabilizing Earth's axial tilt, the mass of the moon itself would remain unchanged if replaced by a black hole. The key difference is that a black hole, even one with the same mass as the moon, would behave much differently in terms of its size and appearance. A black hole with the mass of the moon would have an event horizon roughly the size of a grain of sand. This might seem incredibly small when you consider the moon's actual size in the night sky. But remember, a black hole's singularity is not a point in space. It's a point in time. The mass of the moon, now concentrated within this incredibly small space, would not exert any additional gravitational pull or disrupt Earth's orbit in any significant way. Tides would still rise and fall in the same manner, and the Earth would continue to orbit the sun as usual. One of the most surprising aspects of this thought experiment is that the effects on Earth's environment would be minimal. While there would no longer be any moonlight shining down on Earth, this would not have a huge impact on life. The absence of moonlight might slightly affect nocturnal animals that rely on it for navigation, but compared to the numerous other environmental changes humans have already caused, this would be a relatively minor shift. In fact, a black hole of this size would be almost invisible to the naked eye. It would not emit any light on its own because a black hole does not reflect light. The only way it could potentially become visible is if it were to start devouring nearby matter, which would cause it to emit powerful bursts of radiation. However, this would only happen if there were enough nearby objects for the black hole to consume, something that would not happen in the immediate vicinity of the moon. For the most part, the black hole moon would remain a silent, unseen presence in our sky. But even if the black hole were to remain unnoticed, there would still be some interesting consequences. The absence of moonlight would affect Earth's temperature slightly. Right now, the moon plays a small but measurable role in regulating the planet's temperature, primarily through its reflection of sunlight. The moon's light adds a tiny bit of heat to the Earth, causing small fluctuations in temperature over the course of a month. While these changes are minimal, they are enough to affect things like the Earth's overall climate and the behavior of nocturnal animals. However, even without the moon's contribution to warming the planet, the overall impact on Earth's climate would be negligible in the grand scheme of things. The Earth's orbit around the sun is already slightly elliptical, and this natural cycle causes the planet to be closer to the sun during certain phases of the moon's cycle. Even without the moon, this small shift would still occur, keeping the Earth's overall temperature fluctuations relatively consistent. While the loss of moonlight might cool things down just a tiny bit, the effect would be so minor that it would be nearly impossible to notice over a long period of time. The black hole moon would also have no effect on the Earth's orbit around the sun. As mentioned earlier, the gravitational influence of a black hole is determined by its mass rather than its size. So, replacing the moon with a black hole of the same mass would not alter Earth's path around the sun. The moon's gravitational effect on the Earth is largely limited to its role in controlling tides, which would continue to function in much the same way. Another interesting consequence of a black hole moon would be the way it interacts with the cosmos around it. While the moon itself would no longer be visible to the naked eye, it would continue to affect the orbits of nearby dust particles and other small objects in space. These particles would be drawn towards the black hole and would experience slight gravitational forces as they passed by, altering their paths. This interaction would cause a kind of cosmic dance, where the tiny bits of matter surrounding the black hole moon would constantly shift and swirl in response to its immense gravitational pull. If the moon were replaced by a black hole, it would also become significantly harder to study. Black holes are notoriously difficult to observe because they do not emit any light. Astronomers rely on the radiation emitted by stars and other celestial objects to study the universe, but a black hole doesn't provide this information. As a result, the moon would effectively disappear from view, making it much harder for scientists to monitor or study. This would create a sense of mystery and uncertainty in our understanding of the moon's role in the Earth-Moon system. It's important to note, however, that this scenario is purely hypothetical. A black hole of the moon's size is not something that could realistically be created or found in our solar system. Black holes are typically formed from the collapse of massive stars, and the moon's mass simply doesn't meet the requirements for such an event. Even if a black hole of the appropriate size did somehow appear, it's unlikely that it would remain in the moon's position for long. The gravitational forces of the sun and other objects in the solar system would likely disrupt the black hole's orbit, pulling it away from the Earth over time. In the end, replacing the moon with a black hole would not be the catastrophe that many might imagine. The effects on Earth's tides, orbit, and climate would be minimal, and life on Earth would continue much as it always has. The most noticeable change would be the loss of moonlight, but even this would not have a significant impact on our planet's overall environment. The black hole. Moon would become just another mysterious, invisible object in the sky. Its gravitational influence felt, but not seen. Its effects on life on Earth almost imperceptible. Of course, if this were to happen in the middle of an important historical event, like the moon landing in 1969, it would undoubtedly alter the course of history. But for the most part, a black hole moon would simply fade into the background of our cosmic reality, a reminder of the strange and mysterious forces that govern our universe.
Don't think you'll be able to click on the next video before time run out. 3, 2, 1.